Hey, what's up guys? Alex here with a new video, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the Fujifilm X-T3 and the Canon EOS R. Now I'm going to start off this video by saying I own both these cameras, and these are both great cameras, and I'm not making this video to say to get one over the other. I'm making this video out of personal curiosity because the EOS R has been my workhorse camera since November when it came out, or September. Yeah, I use it for all my paid work. I use it for weddings. I own multiple EOS R bodies. I'm using it right now. It's become one of my favorite cameras. But I still picked up an X-T3 as my personal travel camera that I use kind of every time I travel or throw it in my backpack every day. I did this for two reasons, right? First reason is the X-T3 is fun to use. Something about the knobs and the feel of the camera, I like carrying it with me. And second, it's a psychological thing for me. I don't like using the camera I use for work, for personal. Sounds dumb, could be dumb, but I just don't like doing it. So I like having that two different camera systems, maybe the nerd in me or the gear acquisition syndrome I have. Regardless, this last trip I took with the Fuji, I started thinking to myself, could I incorporate a Fuji system into my professional workflow? And then I had the idea of create this comparison just to see if I could work it in, if it could kind of hang in there with the EOS R. Now, before seeing the results, to be honest, I thought it was going to be a very close call. I've been very happy with the Fuji files, been very happy with the images, and yeah, then I made this video. So I'll go ahead and get to the next part, but I will say this. We are comparing a $2,200 lens in the Canon 50 1.2 RF with a Fuji 35mm 1.4 that's around 550 bucks. So I'll just start off with that and let's go ahead and get to the comparison.
Okay, so here we are in Lightroom. So a few key things. These are not straight out of camera. All these photos you're going to be seeing are the way my customers or my clients would be getting the photos, which means they are all edited with my preset. All these photos were synced up, same white balance, same color profiles, same adjustments. Now, second thing I should add is all these photos were shot the same way, right? So I try to literally match setting for setting. The only difference is here on the Fuji, the ISO is 160. That's this base ISO, and the Canon's 100. And the second thing is all the photos were used or shot using continuous AF with face detection. And in Fuji's case, it was face and eye detection. At the time, Canon's EOS R did not have IAF for continuous shooting, and this is how I like to shoot. From that perspective, Fuji did have an advantage. Both these photos, if I delivered them to the bride, I don't think she could tell a difference. I think she'd like both. I think they both look great. But because we're here on YouTube and we're pixel peepers, we're going to go ahead and pixel peep. But you're not going to be able to see this off the bat in YouTube because of the compression. But for me, the Canon's already just has this 3D pop, and it's this new 50mm lens. It's just amazing. Keep in mind, I like both these cameras. I like using both of them. And when I did this the first time, I was just kind of blown away at the difference. I didn't expect it to be that much. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. A 1:1 on the face on the Fuji, and 1:1 on the face here on the Canon. And it's just, I'm hoping it's coming out on YouTube because the quality, the pop, the sharpness is ridiculous. Now, we are comparing a $2,200 lens with a $500 lens, but this is Fuji's like top of the line 35mm, so there's nothing else to compare it to. And yeah, the difference is just ridiculous. It's so much sharper, so much more detail here on the Canon. And the Fuji, even though it's not as sharp, it is very pleasing and flattering to the face. But when you're looking at detail and you're looking at sharpness, the Canon is just absolutely blowing it out the water. I think the Canon almost has a medium format type look, and yeah, this is just ridiculous. Okay, here, going to the second shot, you can see, again, same settings. The shutter speed is pretty high. I wanted to make sure that there was no handshake or anything to make these photos blurry or less sharp. There's just this 3D pop in the Canon's photo. It's just, yeah, it's the lens. So let's go ahead and zoom in here 1:1 on the Fuji. It's actually 2:1, and 2:1 here on the Canon, and it almost looks like I applied face smoothing or a filter on the Fuji, and the Canon is just crazy sharp. Let's go ahead and go 1:1. Yeah, and 1:1 again, you see the difference. You see the pores, you see all the detail in the skin here, and in the Fuji, it just looks like it's a filter. It's just not as sharp. There's this haze to it. It's flattering though, so it's not a bad thing. When you're editing, you can always touch up a photo. You can never get detail back, so the benefit here is to get as much detail as you can in the initial shot, and it's a clear winner every single time. Let's go ahead and go to a different photo because for this portrait, I wanted to change things up a bit. Okay, so for this portrait, I actually wanted to use the 1.2 on the Canon and see if it made a difference. So theoretically, or at least in the older Canon lenses, 1.2 is just so soft, it was almost unusable. And here, I was pretty surprised. I think this photo is the only photo where I literally matched white balance. I matched all the colors, where you can see that there is a difference in obviously Fuji's color profiles versus Canon's, the color science behind it, and the greens. The Fuji's a little cooler on this one, but again, that's just something you can do in match and editing later, right? If I really wanted to get 100% on the colors. Here we're just comparing the detail, the sharpness, the rendering. I think here again you see just the out of focus areas are greater, and then when you zoom in on the face here, 1:1, this is Fuji's strongest picture I took. This is the sharpest one I was able to get, and it looks good, right? I think on its own, if I wasn't comparing it to anything, I'd be happy with all the Fuji pictures. But when you compare it here to the Canon at 1.2, Canon has absolutely just killed it with their new glass, and I think that's what it comes down to. You can talk about megapixels, and of course, I think that it's a 5 or 6 megapixel difference here between these two cameras and the full frame sensor. I think what it boils down to is just the lenses here are very different, and the quality really shows in the lenses. I'm pretty sure if I could mount an RF lens on a Fuji, it would definitely improve the results because this camera is phenomenal. But like I've said it in my EOS R review, what really makes this camera special is the new RF glass.
Okay, so what did y'all think? It's pretty crazy, right? And I think it goes beyond full frame versus crop here. I think it's just a massive difference in lens design and quality. And obviously the Canon 50 1.2 RF lens is maybe 2 to 3 times bigger than the 35mm 1.4 here we're using on the Fuji. And yeah, massive difference. Like I've said in previous videos, I think it's a combination of Canon's new optical formulas and just lens design with the EOS R's focusing accuracy that just delivers some of the best results I think I've ever seen, period. So what did we learn from this video? I think we learned that the Fuji is still an amazing performer, still a great camera. Unfortunately, this 35mm 1.4 Fuji's using is one of their first lenses, so I'll go ahead and maybe give them a pass there. But when comparing them side by side, there's a clear winner, and that's the Canon EOS R. I'm still gonna keep the Fuji. It's still gonna be my personal camera, my travel camera, my fun camera, but it will not be replacing any of my professional cameras, or I should say cameras in my professional workflow that I use for paid gigs. And yeah, I think the difference is going to be that much, but you saw it. So I will try to include some downloadable photos so you can compare them for yourself. I've never done that, so I'm not sure how it's going to work out. So if you see the photos, I figured it out. If you don't, my bad. But as always, please like this video, please subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed this content. I'll be making more comparisons. I'm finally planning on doing the Sony a7 III versus the Canon EOS R, just to give you guys what you want. But like I said, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Peace.